Part 50. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 491. Liang Cheng was in the bathroom and was cursing when he was slapped hard on the back of the head by Mr. Zhang. There was water on his face that he had just finished cleaning up. Is it okay to apologize? Is it okay to plead for mercy? Is it okay to make things right immediately? Can you get the person back quickly? Mr. Zhang was not used to his shortcomings. Every question came with a slap on his forehead. What did I tell you? Have a better attitude. Even if you kneel down, you have to beg her to go back. Only by letting her go back with a smile can the company tonight not have your names in tomorrow's news. Your wife is not as loved as you imagined. You and your home. Please remember this clearly. Mr. Zhang grabbed Liang Cheng's bristling hair and pointed at him in the mirror. Also, please look at yourself in the mirror more. Your backer is gone. From now on, you have to live with your tail between your legs. Now, your wife is more important than you. This time, your wife called the police and the matter was recorded in the police record, so it was not easy to completely seal the matter. Don't even think of any evil ideas. The only way now is to trick your wife into signing a contract with the company and being bound by the company. Then you will be completely safe. Before that, no matter how wronged you are or how many conditions you agree to, you have to stabilize her. If you are unwilling, you can terminate the contract with the company now, but remember to pay the penalty. Otherwise, just be honest with me. When Liang Cheng returned to the conference room, there was no longer any reluctance on his face. He carefully said I'm sorry to his wife in front of everyone. Just these 3 words, Taoran hoped he could say more. Wife, I was wrong. I deserve to die. I admit my mistake. I shouldn't have lied to you, I shouldn't have been sorry to you, and I shouldn't have left the child alone. I'm sorry for you, and I hope you calm down. I won't dare anymore. I will definitely treat you well in the future. Treat your children, take care of your family. I will never let you down. I will definitely fulfill the promise I made to you. If there is a next time, what will you do? There will never be a next time. Then I'm going to say something ugly. If there is a next time, I will definitely not let you go. The fish may not die, but the net will definitely be broken. Taoran looked at GXC's senior officials. When the time comes, I will definitely get a divorce. If Liang Chenggran's trap is ruined and GXC loses money, it's none of my business. It was better for her to give GXC a vaccination early. Anyway, we all have illegitimate children, so this will definitely happen next time. When she takes action later, GXC should not blame this debt on herself. She must first remember that Liang Cheng broke the contract first. Honey, don't worry. I will never do it again. If you want me to believe you, then write a guarantee letter with all the guarantees you just made. Sign your name and put your fingerprints on it. Liang Cheng's teeth are wrong, is that the problem? It's not like he's never played with women before. She's always just pretended not to know, right? What's wrong with you this time? Why do you have to go through so much trouble? I want you to write clearly in the guarantee letter that if you commit the crime again, you will voluntarily give up your child custody rights, unconditionally agree to the woman's divorce request, and give up the right to distribute joint property after marriage. Taoran originally wanted to let the man clean up and leave the house, but after thinking about it, she decided to leave some room for the scumbag to continue his behavior. If he is pushed into a panic, it would not be a good idea to just jump over the wall in a hurry. The last step is to wait until you find a good backer. Sure enough, it was just a distribution right, but there was something wrong with the scumbag. He was in danger of rushing over at any time like a bullfight. It was because Mr. Zhang said something in his ear that he took a deep breath and then wrote a guarantee letter as required. Taoran achieved all his goals and was satisfied and ready to return home. She walked out of GXC with her child and was surrounded by paparazzi. The actress's acting skills were once again thrown away. "I'm sorry, everyone, it's nothing serious. It's all a misunderstanding." Her tone was calm and gentle, but her expression was restrained and complicated. Her eyes were wandering and she didn't dare to look directly at people. She was full of words but hesitated. In the end, he hung his head with a guilty conscience. Just saying this, she was sent to the nanny car arranged by GXC. When the car door closed, people from GXC's public relations department had already come to invite the paparazzi to drink tea and chat. Ha, GXC has always been good at this. If you can't find it in hot searches, these paparazzi will be blocked soon. Therefore, it is even more obvious that if she wants to fight against capital, she cannot do it alone. She needs someone to support her. At least it has to be like Guang Guang Entertainment. Taoran was in a very good mood. For her, the biggest success today was not getting that large sum of money, but disrupting the relationship between Liang Cheng and Wang Beilei. Without the backing of a capital boss, it would not be difficult to deal with the greedy and lazy guy like Liang Cheng. The scumbag is no longer a problem, and she can finally pursue her career with peace of mind. Taoran sent a message to Xioxia, asking her to book a restaurant with good taste and privacy. She was not in a hurry to go home, but took her children and Xioxia to have a good meal first. Xioxia had already prepared a big doll for Coco, and the two became close within a short time. It can be seen that Coco quite likes Xioxia. Taoran wanted to let Keek get more exposure to the outside world, so during dinner, he asked Xioxia to choose a fun B/U0026B, planning to leave early tomorrow morning and come back the day after tomorrow. She must go back to the scumbag's home as little as possible in the future. It was also around dinner time that Taoran had time to turn on another phone. In WeChat, there are several messages from Sister Zhen and Luo Jiao. Both of them heard some news and asked her if something had happened and if she needed help. She reported that they were safe separately. 10 minutes later, Sister Zhen sent her a message back and told her that she had made an appointment with Guangming senior management at 9 o'clock the day after tomorrow. Whether she can shine in the light depends on her personal charm and performance. Let her decide what kind of image she uses to show up. Awesome. Taoran was very grateful and quickly read through the contract he had just received from GXC. Sister, are you not planning to sign GXC? Why did you accept the contract? First of all, it is to make them feel at ease. More importantly, with this contract, we can better negotiate with Guang Guang. The contract had excellent conditions. When she took it out, even if Guang Guang had no intention of signing her, I was afraid it was just to make her feel sick. GXC, you should think more about it. Xioxia suddenly realized. You're really thinking far ahead. In addition, although my matter has not been on the hot search today, it has already become popular in the circle. You see, not only Sister Zhen, but also Luo Jiao already knows about this. This will be a problem for me to negotiate with Guang Guang later. A bargaining chip. Sister, that's awesome, Xioxia gave a thumbs up. No wonder you said that if you have to take one step, then count it as 5 or 10 steps. You ruined the scumbag's birthday, pushed away his backer, took away his money, and got his evidence. You have GXC to help you sort it out. The scumbag, he vented his anger, got so many excuses from the scumbag, and even prepared a bargaining chip for the future. It's amazing. Yeah, didn't you say you wanted to build a studio? The first startup capital for the studio has been received, and you can start preparing slowly. Start arranging to recruit people first. In addition, find 2 reliable bodyguards. Yes, it's time to arrange bodyguards. You are too pushy this time, and you are afraid of retaliation. Taoran snorted, I'm looking for bodyguards to protect you and Coco, I don't need them. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 492. When I got home, it was completely like the atmosphere of a joint trial between the three divisions. Liang Cheng and his parents sat there high up. Liang Cheng was beaten by the company, but he didn't dare to do anything except staring at Tao Ran. The constipated and resentful expression on his face was really refreshing to see. After getting a look from Father Liang, Liang Cheng got up and took Coco upstairs, saying that he had a midnight snack for her. Then, Father Liang slapped his cup of tea on the table, and Mother Liang stood up and rushed towards Tao Ran, then stretched out her hand, wanting to slap her. In the plot, Zhang Lan was so angry with these old guys, how could Tao Ran let her suffer again? Not only could she not suffer a loss, she also had to use the topic to her advantage. She stepped back and fell to the ground, her back hitting the coffee table. He held a big rock with its wings spread out as if to maintain balance, but in fact, it overturned all the tea sets on the table to the ground. Father Liang screamed and shouted for the famous Zisha who saved him, while Mother Liang bared her teeth and shouted, "I turned against you. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Mom, what are you doing? Why did you hit me? Why did I do it on purpose? You hit me for no reason. If I don't hide, am I still waiting to be beaten by you?" Asked Tao Ran what he is good at. Of course it's acting. As for the most basic qualities of an actor, in addition to being emotionally invested in the body and lines, he must also have a sense of camera. At this moment, she was paying at least half of her attention to the button on her chest, recording all the fussing and arrogant behavior of the two people opposite her. What was recorded on the camera at this time was the scene where she was beaten for no reason and ran away after returning home. Well, Zhang Lan, you actually teamed up with outsiders to defraud your man's money and embarrass his face. I knew you were not smart, but I didn't expect you to be so bad-hearted and greedy for money. Xiao Cheng is ruined, and you are so sick. What's the use of such a shameless yellow-faced woman? Didn't you just find out today that Xiao Cheng is playful and pretending to be a resentful woman outside? How can Xiao Cheng be sorry for you? You want to treat him like this? In addition to giving birth to a daughter, what else have you done for Xiao Cheng and our family in recent years? Your success is not all due to our success. I don't even think about the value of an ugly married mentally ill woman with no acting skills. It started again. Everyone in this family talks about being mentally ill, and they call them sick even if they are not sick. Tao Ran just wanted to sort out the words that Liang's mother had always used to attack and bully Zhang Lan. Therefore, at this moment, she could only retreat weakly. Persimmons are picky and pinched. The weaker she is, the stronger the other party will be. Those two people were so good that Liang's mother chased Tao Ran and beat her, but old Liang had already walked to the door, grabbed the bag that Tao Ran had left at the door when he had just changed his shoes, and turned it over. "Put down my bag," Tao Ran rushed over, "don't go through my bag. What qualifications do you have to check my personal belongings?" Of course Tao Ran knew that what the old man was looking for was nothing more than two things, either her bank card or the scumbag's letter of guarantee. Or, both. When Father Liang saw her chasing him, he ran away quickly. He also turned back to signal to his wife, "Catch her and let me look for her." It was not convenient for the son to take action, so they came. So, very dramatically, there was a strange scene where Tao Ran chased the old man and the old woman chased Tao Ran. The two elders were panting, but Tao Ran found it interesting. To be precise, I enjoy it. She was extremely oppressive and was about to catch Father Liang several times, causing the old man to almost fall down several times. Seeing that the old lady behind me couldn't keep up, she had to take a few steps slower from time to time. I have to take care of the shooting before and after, so it's a bit busy. Of course, by the way, Tao Ran didn't forget to knock over this bottle or that jar in his rush. He accidentally kicked the two of them in the legs and knocked down their hands. Unable to run away, the old man turned the entire bag upside down and scattered everything on the ground. The old lady didn't know when she had a feather duster in her hand, and she pulled it out without saying anything. Taoran easily dodged it, and provocation began to show on his face. She was a little annoyed and didn't want to pretend anymore. Father Liang also raised his head. Because it was found that there was neither a guarantee nor a bank card in her bag. Taoran can't make fun of him. Is she so stupid that she would carry the guarantee letter and bank card with her and wait for them to snatch her? You shameless thing, take out the money. Is that money yours? Do you dare to take it? You dare to call the police and make fun of Xiaokeng's future, why don't you dare to come over? It is your son who is shameless. Your son gave me the money willingly. I took it with confidence. Where did I go wrong? If you are not convinced, you also call the police. If we really need to investigate, it's because you suddenly ignored your children today that you got to where you are now. Your son lost his money, and you two are the initiators. If you have to blame, blame yourselves. And I haven't asked you two yet, where have you been today? He disappeared all day and didn't answer the phone. Was he going to do something shameful? The police checked you, but you didn't go to the hospital at all. But didn't Liang Cheng keep saying that one of you had a broken leg? I see that you two are both walking like flying. What is wrong with you? You deliberately lied to me, is there something else you are hiding from me? The old couple looked at each other and then remembered this incident. Have you forgotten it? Taoran snorted, you dare to do domestic violence to me? I've already called the police once today, let's see if I dare to call the police a second time. She deliberately took out her mobile phone to make a call, and sure enough, the ferocious duo rushed forward to stop her again. Taoran's hand slipped and the phone flew away. Father Liang was really ruthless. He grabbed the phone and smashed it to pieces. Taoran looked at him steadily, then smiled at him and strode upstairs with his suitcase. The other party's performance of smashing the phone was not bad. Anyway, it was recorded. Her smile was weird, and the couple suddenly panicked and immediately followed her upstairs. When they ran upstairs, they only saw Zhonglan taking her daughter into the room, and then the door was locked with a click. Liang Cheng was a little stunned. Just now he was asking Keek where his mother was, who she had dinner with, and what she said. Then Zhonglan opened the door and rushed in, taking the child away without saying a word. At this time, the three of them were leaning against the door of Zhang Yian's room. They heard Zhonglan making a phone call in the room and mentioned the word Mr. Zhang. Before they had time to question why Zhonglan still had a phone on her after her phone was smashed, Liang Cheng's cell phone rang. On the screen, two words appeared, Mr. Zhang. Taoran told Mr. Zhang that he was beaten when he got home, his phone was smashed, and his bag was taken away. If Liang Cheng treats her like this, she may have no choice but to divorce. Mr. Zhang was furious again. After calling Liang Cheng, he directly greeted the 18th generation of the Liang family. He didn't even turn on the speakerphone, but Liang's parents and Liang's mother heard clearly. The couple looked distressed. My son is so pitiful. He has been scolded like this even though he has done nothing. Is it easy to make some money? That little bitch took it all away. 20 million should be theirs. This money, no matter what, must be taken back. My son's letter of guarantee must also be taken back. I'm not feeling well, so the update is a little late. I apologize. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 493. This is Liang Cheng's most irritable and unhappy birthday in his life. Seeing that the day was almost over, he still received a bloody scolding from Mr. Zhang. He still had to lie on the eighth wife's door like a pug and beg with a shy face. After a long time of persuasion, Taoran didn't open the door. Instead, he and Coco started reading English together. Liang Cheng had no choice but to perform well tomorrow. He still understands his wife, she is a soft-hearted person, and she will always compromise for the sake of her daughter. He thought that all the bad things today would end here, but when he looked at it, he wanted to hit someone. He had just heard a big noise outside, and before he had time to check, he never expected that the downstairs had already looked like this. The living room on the first floor was in a mess. The painting on the wall fell to the ground and opened. 180,000. The crystal ornaments on the sideboard fell to the floor and cracked. 86,000. The ground was covered with debris and liquids of various materials. He rushed downstairs. That purple sand tea set costs 150,000 yuan. That Qing dynasty porcelain vase costs 300,000 yuan. His wine cabinet, there were a lot of collector's edition wines in it. Why did they all fall to the floor? There is also a handmade carpet, why is it cut with a hole? 500,000. Sofa, his custom-made leather sofa also fell on the broken porcelain, and it happened to be punctured, so it cracked. This is a model customized by an Italian master. It took half a year to get it, and it cost 500,000. Liang Cheng felt like he was going crazy. Now he can definitely be crazier than Zhang Lan. The damage to this living room is at least 3 million. What did they do? Do you think he hasn't compensated enough today? He wanted to strangle Zhang Lan to death, but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't hit her or scold her. Since the friction during the day was recorded by the police, even if he killed her, he would be the first suspect. Not only can he not do anything, he also has to laugh, beg her, and fawn over her. Is there any justice in this world? Why does he live so miserable? If he had known that she was such a bad person, he should have found a way to send her to a mental hospital and put an end to it. Liang Cheng kicked off the shelf at his feet and simply smashed all the remaining items on the coffee table to the ground to vent his anger. He grabbed a bottle of good wine from the wine cabinet and just put it to his mouth. Xiao Cheng, come here and see your dad. Mother Liang's voice came weakly. Your dad isn't feeling well. Liang Cheng quickly rushed upstairs again. His dad rubbed his knee and cried out that it hurt. I didn't feel it just now, but now the pain is getting worse and worse, and I can't even walk. The reason turned out to be, Zhang Yian's cell phone was hit. It turned out that when Taoran flew out of the phone, he aimed it directly at the old man's knee. Don't old guys like to smash things? If you can smash Zhang Yian's phone and Zhang Yian's head, you have to be able to withstand Taoran's smash. Ha, didn't you mean that your leg is broken? Taoran would satisfy them. Didn't you just clamor to go to the hospital during the day? Since you can't go during the day, let's go now. The old man's knees hurt terribly, and the old lady also complained that her elbows hurt. Liang Cheng stared at Zhang Yian's door. He wanted to scold but didn't dare, so he could only clenched his fists loudly. There was no way, even if it was almost 12 o'clock, he could only go out and drive, and take his parents to the hospital first. Taoran opened the door and said it was a pity. Why didn't the scumbag go out after a few drinks? Otherwise, she could have reported him for drunk driving. The reason why Taoran hit the old man was firstly to vent his anger, secondly because he didn't want to see these three people, and thirdly, he still planned to get rid of these three people. Well, it would make it easier for her to leave, and also make it easier for her to do some tricks and get some things. She had just installed a small camera in a spotlighted corner of her room. Now, she went to Liang Cheng's room again, hid him in the closet, and took away the Patek Philippe watch that Taoran had discovered earlier. This can be considered as my own hard work. Of course, taking one thing is still taking, and taking various things is still taking. How could she wrong herself? Tao Ran carefully packed all his brand name belts and bags of unknown origin and put them into his suitcase. Oh, yes, she also took 100,000 yuan in cash from Liang Cheng's desk drawer. Of course she wanted to get more, but there was only so much in total. By the time Liang Cheng got home, it was already dawn. Liang Cheng almost exploded. How much force did that crazy woman use to crack Daddy's kneecap? When he arrived at the hospital, my father was feverish all over and his knees were swollen. The doctor allows you to be hospitalized and observed for a period of time before you can be discharged. The doctor also said that it should be caused by a direct blow. They told the doctor that it was because he was hit by a mobile phone, but the doctor shook his head and said it was impossible. He would rather believe that it was because the old man had osteoporosis and hit a sharp object without paying attention. At that time, Liang Cheng almost exploded again. What the hell? All day long. This is all virtue. This is not his birthday, but his Mercury retrograde day. No one makes him happy. He can't stand anyone. Even this dog doctor is hospitalized. Still have to be hospitalized. He punched the wall. This is a special care unit in a private hospital. The price is not low and it costs a lot of money. After completing a series of examinations and successfully admitted to the ward, it was already 2:30. Liang Cheng just felt so tired. Throughout the day, neither the body nor the soul can be in a relaxed state. He really wanted to get drunk for 3 days and 3 nights. Liang Cheng's parents were still crying and scolding Zhang Lan. Liang Cheng was extremely upset, smoking one cigarette after another. His phone rang, and Miao Ziyi sent a message. Have you slept? As soon as you left, do you know how sad Xiao and I were? We've been waiting for you all day. Your mobile phone is always turned off. Xiao and I are very worried about you. Brother Cheng, why have you ignored me all day? Can you bear to make Xiao and I feel sad? Bara. Liang Cheng was upset and turned off his phone again. Woman, haha. They succeed and they fail. When it's sweet, you can dig out your heart and lungs, but when it's cruel, each one is like a snake or a scorpion. Liang Cheng leaned in the hospital for a while and was woken up by the alarm clock. No matter how much he hates her, he must first coax his wife according to Mr. Zhang's wishes. So, he went out to buy the fried dough sticks and soy milk that Zhang Lan liked, and planned to go home and fry a few poached eggs with his own hands, mix a salad, toast 2 slices of bread, and cook a porridge. When his wife woke up, he deliberately tidied up in the living room pitifully, and then cried and begged a few times. Since there were no outsiders, he could make an oath or even kneel on the ground. Then she said some sweet words and took Zhang Lan to the 80th floor of the Shanghai World Trade Center later to enjoy the breeze, drink wine, get her drunk, and have a sleep. Is there anything that can't be solved? However, Liang Cheng didn't expect that he would break out in a cold sweat as soon as he got home. The $1 million off-road vehicle in his garage disappeared. He is usually reluctant to open it himself. In order to go to the hospital in a low-key manner last night, he only drove an ordinary car. Could it be that he forgot to close the garage door and it was stolen? In the past 20 hours or so, he had eaten too much and now he had no doubt that he would continue to be unlucky based on his strength. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 494. Of course, Liang Cheng also thought of a possibility. Could it be that his wife drove away his luxury car? However, the sun hasn't fully risen yet, so my wife hasn't woken up at all, right? Liang Cheng rushed home in 3 steps and 2 steps at a time. Everything is still the same as last night. I went to open Zhang Ian's door, but it still couldn't be opened. Sure enough, I haven't woken up yet. Liang Cheng didn't dare to knock on the door and wake up Zhang Lan. He was worried about the luxury car, so he could only drive to the community guard box to check whether the car was stolen. After checking, I found that the car had left the community an hour ago. So, it wasn't stolen. When the surveillance was called up again, the person in the driver's seat of the car was none other than John Lan. Liang Cheng took a deep breath, not knowing whether to continue to be angry or to be grateful that the car was still there. Looking again, my daughter Coco was still sitting in the car. The security guard asked weakly, "No need to call the police, right?" "Call the police? Report a fart." Liang Cheng drove away with a cold face. So early, where did John Lan go with her daughter? He panicked. Could it be that he ran away from home? Liang Cheng felt guilty. Why is this damn woman so arrogant? Don't just collect the money and start getting divorced again, right? How do you explain it to the company? As soon as he got home, he immediately called his wife. Hateful, shut down. Tried again, still turned off. He sent several text messages to John Lan and sent several WeChat messages. But while he was still sending, he received 3 more text messages in succession. It is traffic violation information. It says that he exceeded the speed limit 3 times on a certain road section and at a certain intersection in the middle of the night. Points and fines need to be deducted according to regulations. Please handle it within XX days. His depression became more and more severe. Sure enough, there was no end to this misfortune, right? The anger that had lasted all night had almost reached its peak and exploded at this moment. He just smashed the phone out. The phone shattered and he began to regret it again. He could only pick up the phone card in despair and find his old mobile phone to install the card. So tired. I called the housekeeper to clean up the living room, took a bottle of wine and put it on the bed. I finally fell asleep, but my phone rang again. John Lan called and told him that he would take his children out for a day and would not be back tonight. Liang Cheng was so angry that he gritted his teeth. So cool. Didn't you know that Dad was beaten into the hospital by her? Don't you know your home is a mess? Don't you know he has a lot to say? This woman is so hateful. But no matter how hateful he was, he could only show a fake smile. Where are you? Can I go find you? But before he finished speaking, there was a beep 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 sound. When I called again, it shut down again. Liang Cheng was furious and took a few more sips of wine. He was so angry that he smashed the bottle. He drank too much and fell into a drowsy state. But the cleaning lady knocked on the door and woke him up again. The aunt said that the living room was too difficult to clean, and she had to pay extra for it. She also had to find someone to haul away the sofa, repair the picture frame and carpet, etc. In short, ask for money. Liang Cheng half squinted his eyes and pointed at the desk. Go to that drawer and get the money yourself. If you have more money, return it. Remember to ask for the maintenance receipt. Auntie did as she was told. Where can I find the money? Liang Cheng was so excited that he woke up half drunk, and then rolled over to the table. No. The drawer where the money had been kept was empty. 100,000 yuan, gone. His room has a password lock to enter, and the only one in the family who knows the password, besides him and his parents, is John Lan. It must be her. He drove away his car and took his own money. This woman is really crazy. Thinking that she was neither greedy for money nor willing to enter his room before, why did she become like this now? Liang Cheng glanced at the drawer again, and then his heart skipped a beat. It seems that there were originally 2 gift boxes in this drawer. Inside were the limited edition belts he received when he participated in the event, right? Why is it missing? Fortunately, he didn't expect it. After thinking about it, he suddenly found that this and that in his room seemed to be gone. He rushed into the cloakroom. On the top floor, several unopened luxury gift boxes with labels were missing. They were all his limited edition bags. There are also 2 pairs of limited edition shoes worth nearly 100,000 yuan, but why are they missing? Wait, jewelry. Where is the diamond chain in the secret compartment of the jewelry cabinet? That was the bounty Wang Bailey got when he recommended him to a certain film and television company boss. It's worth at least 2 million. How come? How did that woman know there was a hidden compartment here? That woman collected everything in one go. Could it be that she had planned it in advance? She's not crazy. She is a liar. Liang Cheng suddenly shuddered and thought of his valuable watch again. The innermost part of the wardrobe, open the mezzanine, there is no hair at all. Liang Cheng sat down on the ground. He's going crazy. Zhang Lan. Zhang Lan. He wanted to strangle her to death and kill her in minutes. How much worth of stuff did she take? 5 million? More than 600? 700? They are all good things he has collected. Liang Cheng couldn't help but punch the cabinet. At this time, the phone flashed again, a message from Mr. Zhang. Question: how is Zhang Ian's coaxing? Let her sign the contract quickly. Liang Cheng suddenly wanted to cry. He discovered that, let alone strangling Zhang Lan to death, even if Zhang Lan was standing in front of him now, not only could he not make a move, he would also have to show his white teeth and pretend to smile, nodding and wagging his tail to her to beg for mercy. This world is so unfair. He called Zhang Lan again, but still turned off his phone. He couldn't help but think, could it be that he had been blocked? He got up, found the nanny, borrowed his cell phone, and called her. Sure enough, this time it worked. Liang Cheng sneered, his back molars were sore from being bitten. The call is connected. Xiaolan, did you take my things and still have money? I need money to play with my children. As for the other things, since they were given to you by other women, I think there is no need to keep them. If you are unwilling to destroy those things, it means that you still have feelings for those women. Then, please fulfill all the promises in the guarantee letter. The woman's voice on the phone was calm, and the calmer she was, the angrier Liang Cheng became. Do you care about those things? He cares about the value of those things. They are all collector's editions, unopened, and fetch huge prices once they are resold. Do you want to sell those things? If you don't sell it, can you eat it? Let's go sell it together. I know a store with a very high bid. No need. It's my business how much I want to sell it for. You have no control over whether I want to give it away. As for the price, it has nothing to do with you. Tao Ran spoke straightforwardly. When these things come into my hands, they belong to me. If you don't want to, you can call the police. Just say that I stole your personal belongings and let the police catch me. After that, Tao Ran hung up the phone again. Haha, does he have the ability to call the police? As if he could clearly explain the origin of these things to the police. The more luxury goods are, the easier it is to trace the purchaser. Pull out the carrot and bring out the mud. Tao Ran wishes he would call the police. As long as he can bear it. Liang Cheng, who was almost going crazy, quickly called again, only to find that once again, the phone was also blocked. Madman. Neuropathy. Thanks to Xiaoyao, Brother Long, Wen Haha, and the book Friend's Tale number 22576, baby, for the reward. Thank you for your gratitude. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 495. In one fell swoop, millions of dollars of property were removed. There was no way to call the police, no place to speak out, no one to beat, no one to scold, no one to say anything, and no place to say anything. What else in the world could be better? Is this more frustrating? Oh no. Not just a few million, but more than 20 million. It's almost half of Liang Cheng's savings over the years. But he was so frustrated. Maybe this is what people often say, that feeling that you can't stand but can't get rid of. It's really uncomfortable. Where can Liang Cheng still sleep? I just wish I could beat that woman like a sandbag. How dare you shamelessly admit to stealing? How dare you tell me clearly that you want to sell your things? Don't you plan to give yourself a penny? How could there be such a vicious woman in the world? Dare you threaten yourself with a guarantee letter? Nonsense. When he thought about the guarantee letter, Liang Cheng felt like he was bitten by insects. It was so uncomfortable. I don't know where the original copy of the guarantee is. Yesterday, her parents helped them find her bag, but it was not in it. She just came back yesterday. Where can she find the guarantee letter? Liang Cheng's eyes suddenly lit up. She came back yesterday and brought a suitcase, didn't she? Could it be, in the box? Liang immediately got out of bed and then knocked on the door of his wife's room next door. She can go into her room to look for things, why can't she go to her place to look for things? If she doesn't come back today, she can just rummage around. After dozens of blows, the door was knocked open. Liang Cheng began to rummage through boxes and cabinets. He had dug out all Zhang Yian's bags and boxes. He couldn't remember which box she had dragged back yesterday. What a search! It was not in the suitcase, drawer, or cupboard. He touched every pocket of his clothes, and even looked under the mattress, but found nothing. There is no guarantee letter from him, and there is no luxury goods Zhang Lan stole from him. Liang Cheng was angry again. He slapped Zhang Lan, who was in the wedding photo, several times, dusted everything on the table to the ground, kicked her onto the bed, jumped on the bed, punched and kicked her, and finally screamed several times. He was so angry. The reason why he agreed to write the guarantee letter yesterday was because of Mr. Zhang's persuasion, saying that the guarantee letter was not scary, as long as he coaxed his wife back and tricked her into taking out the guarantee letter, or he secretly found a way to find the guarantee letter and tore it up, then he would do it. Both are clean. At that time, he thought it made sense, so he wrote the letter of guarantee under that situation. Thinking about it now, it was obvious that he underestimated how difficult this woman was yesterday. If the letter of guarantee is not at home, where else could it be? The only thing Liang Cheng thought of was Wu Xia, who briefly appeared yesterday. Of course he knew that woman, she was his wife's former assistant. We haven't seen each other for many years, but if she suddenly appears this time, what good thing can it be? How could Zhang Lan ever be so crazy when doing things in the past? Maybe it was this Wu Xia who instigated it? Liang Cheng remembered that Wu Xia didn't like him before, so after he got married to Zhang Lan, he asked his superiors to kick her out of the company. She had always been doing well, and it was inevitable that she would hold a grudge against him. So is this a way to take revenge on yourself? No wonder that Xiaoxia followed Zhang Lan the whole time yesterday, either openly or covertly, thinking that the bank card and guarantee letter were all in her hands. Wu Xia. Liang Cheng shouted the name word by word, and then smashed a cup. It's time for him to find someone to keep an eye on this woman. Liang Cheng didn't know that all his actions from the time he started knocking on the door were live broadcast and transferred to Taoran's mobile phone. Taoran watched him jump up and down for a while, and now he started looking for someone to change the locks and tidy up the locks to restore him to his original state. She felt that if this man continued like this, she might really drive him into a psychosis. Yes. In the plot, they made Zhang Lan a mental patient. Why can't it be him this time? Or, tit for tat, let him experience the life of being imprisoned in a small room of 10 square meters, with no freedom, no enjoyment, scratching his head, and having to receive treatment every day, with no one believing and no one paying attention? Got to add up. Xiaoxia, hurry up and find a bodyguard. Taoran had already foreseen that the scumbag would have thoughts about Xiaoxia. Well, I have been in this industry for more than 10 years, and acquaintances have already introduced several candidates. I will go for an interview tomorrow night after meeting you, and Guangming people's sister Zhen will meet with the Guangming senior management tomorrow night. Zhang Lan. Then I'll accompany you to the interview, helping you select the experts. Good. Tao Ran knew that he had to hurry up. Hurry up to sign a contract with the race, hurry up to show your value, and hurry up to get the protection of the race. By then, there will be someone responsible for the safety of them. What Tao Ran and the others came to was an ecological area with pleasant scenery. I don't know if it's because he was addicted to cultivation in the last world and lived in the mountains for many days when he returned to reality. Therefore, in this world, just a few days after returning to the city, Tao Ran felt that he had an excessive desire for nature all over his body. She almost couldn't wait to find a place with beautiful scenery to relax. As soon as the car entered the mountainous area, Tao Ran felt refreshed. With her eyes closed to rest her mind, she only realized that the green in the sea was a little richer. She opened her eyes. Could it be that the desire for greenery and vitality is not because of recent habits, but because of the aura sealed in the previous world? She could almost feel the joy coming from deep in her soul. This. Do not care. She couldn't change her habit, so she opened the window. She didn't want to waste any time and meditated to try to attract spiritual energy into her body. Tao Ran and the others did not rent out the entire B/U0026B, but shared a building with two other strangers. Tao Ran intended for Keek to have more contact with the outside world and communicate with more people. Because of her status, Coco's world is too small, so she needs to be taken to see more of the outside world. In addition to her parents, she can also be attached to the world, indulge in the beautiful scenery of green mountains and green waters, and focus on her own interests. She needs to know that in addition to family affection, there are other emotions such as friendship, love, and many beautiful things and fun. Time flew by. Coco spent a very enjoyable 2 days and made 2 new friends and exchanged contact information. As for Tao Ran, when he wasn't accompanying Coco on fishing and barbecue bonfire parties, he was either running, walking, practicing martial arts, or introducing qi into his body. This world is the same as her real world. The spiritual energy is too thin. Even if you practice for a month, it is not as effective as practicing for an hour at Tianjian Peak in the previous world, so the speed of practice is very slow. What made Tao Ran a little crazy was that the spiritual energy she introduced into her body was already very little, but only part of it was absorbed by Zhang Yian's body, and the rest seemed to be swallowed up by her own greenwood spiritual energy. Fortunately, Tao Ran is not lacking in patience and perseverance. She does not have high demands and does not plan to become an immortal. She only wants to strengthen her body and help Zhang Lan earn back the lifespan she lost in the plot. She is satisfied. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 496. The meeting with the upper level of the light was in a private room of a private tea house. Let's be serious, this is a casual place after all, not formal at all. To put it bluntly, this private room was over 100 square meters in size, and there were 4 people coming, all of whom were from the upper echelons of light, and they all arrived on time with smiles on their face. This attitude actually reflects Guang's vague attitude towards Zhang Lan at this time. They were not sure whether Zhang Lan was worth signing. Tao Ran arrived a full hour early. When those people arrived, she was sitting upright in front of a sea of tea trees, doing the work that a tea master should do. The entire process of making tea was performed smoothly and gracefully in her hands. Oh, Zhang Lan can also perform tea ceremony. Several people looked at it with interest, and then exchanged glances with each other. Everyone said that Jong Eun's recent status is very different from the photos of the yellow-faced woman that were exposed in the past few years. They also saw the candid photos taken by fans in the past few days, but they could not help but wonder whether the exposed photos had been beautified. When I look at it now, it is true that the real person is, even worse than the photo. Elegant, leisurely, and indifferent, these feelings have popped into everyone's mind. With her skillful technique and gentle expression, she sat there without any disobedience. Her calmness and ease made her seem like the best chef in this tea house. With just one glance, they believed that she could brew good tea, that she could control the tea table, and that the tea she brewed would not be worse than that of the tea masters on the other side. Let the audience believe, this is what every actor needs to do in every role. On this point, Jong Eun's performance was successful. So in terms of professionalism, several senior executives seemed to be satisfied for the time being. When they tasted Taoran's handmade tea, several people were full of praise. The taste is sweet and mellow, and the color of the tea soup is also beautiful. It is even better than the tea brewed by the tea master. The craftsmanship is good. It's no worse than the tea made by this boss. The person who spoke was Mr. Su, the artist director of Guangguang. Taoran smiled lightly. Can the craftsmanship be bad? In Yutong's world, in order to please the emperor, the imperial concubine had studied tea art for many years. I can see that you haven't been acting in these years and have focused on these things. The unfriendly temptation came. I always give 100% enthusiasm and 120% effort to the things I am interested in. Just like acting, although I am tied up by some trivial matters, I never give up. I am ready to do it. I'll continue to work hard on this career. Who wouldn't use the topic? Your efforts have been transferred to your career, but what about your marriage? That was also something you were interested in before. Why don't you put in your 120% effort? You can't have your cake and eat it too, another temptation. Marriage was a mistake I made. Taoran didn't mince words, which was like directly stamping the rumors of a marital crisis the day before yesterday. But who doesn't make mistakes in this life? I know I made a mistake, so I want to correct it. Therefore, my marriage will not drag me down, but I will let it be a booster for me to move forward. How do you want to make marriage a booster? Guangguang and others listened attentively, leaning forward slightly to show their interest. Sign me up and give it a try, then you'll know. Taoran smiled brightly. The middle-aged man sitting in the middle of the rays of four spoke up, Zhang Lan, you are very confident in yourself. Taoran did not deny it. I am confident that all the wishes that were not realized many years ago will come true. Then tell me, what can you bring to the light? Why did we sign you? I can make money for the rays, and I can also help the rays vent their anger. How to make money and how to vent your anger. Taoran was prepared. She handed over a plan first. She made this freshly in the car on the way back today. It contains her career plan, the character she will create for herself next, the steps she will take in the next period of time. Line by line, she wrote down her envisioned plan in detail, followed by the benefits and goals she hoped to obtain. Everyone in Guangguang looked dumbfounded. This is not a career plan, but a plan for revenge and rise. Even if you don't look at the results or imagine whether you can achieve the final results according to the above expectations, these processes alone are enough to make people excited. I have handed this plan to you, which is enough to show my sincerity. I have made every effort and have not given myself a way out. Please give me a chance to realize the plan. I think this plan is very feasible. As long as I succeed, not only can I make a lot of money for Guangguang, but I can also cause GXC to suffer a lot of losses. The end of the year is coming soon, and all major companies are busy settling accounts. There is a problem with GXC, which will not only affect the investment in the coming year, but also affect several of their projects next year. I also heard that both GXC and Guangguang are working on several major projects with the main theme next year. In my humble opinion, a sneak attack at the end of this year is the time when the opponent's position will be most disrupted, and it is also a great opportunity for us to seize the initiative. In addition, Taoran handed over the contract GXE gave her. GXE was eager to sign me and offered very good conditions. But I was determined to cooperate with the raise, so GXE was destined to be disappointed with this contract. As soon as Guang signed a contract with her, GXE's side would be so angry that they would vomit blood. The two companies have a competitive relationship, which is quite a relief for the raise. Mr. Su looked through the contract carefully. GXE gave you a contract with such good conditions. It seems that you have a lot of leverage over GXE. Taoran still didn't deny it, and his smile became even brighter. So, does this show my sincerity? When I come to the light, I will naturally come with a trump card. Are you so hostile to Liang Cheng? Not just for him, but also for GXE. Taoran didn't want Guang to think she was a white-eyed wolf. They all feel sorry for me. If I show mercy to them, I will end up in a dead end. GXE has been unfair to me over the years and has often plotted against me. Even my marriage with Liang Cheng was partly promoted by GXE. GXE also bullied Sister Zhen and my former assistant. If they were fair, I wouldn't do it. I have always been nostalgic. I used to belong to Sister Zhen, and now I still hope to fight side by side with her. I hope the light can become my mother-in-law. At the end of the sentence, the smile on Taoran's face was replaced by solemnity. Mr. Su, the raise can sign you. In fact, after Sister Zhen opened her mouth, Zhonglan already had a 60% chance. But after they saw her with their own eyes and her good temperament, the chance had increased to 90%. They had seen the slap photos that were exposed online a few days ago. Zhonglan had a powerful and domineering image, but today she was elegant and intellectual, completely different from the other two. It can be seen that this woman is extremely malleable. Such people, as long as they are willing to work hard, will definitely make money. And her plan made them even more excited. At that time, they had a small eye contact, and they felt that even if this woman was not an actress, she could still work in the publicity department or as an agent. Her ability to create public opinion and guide hot topics through hype was probably better than their professionals. They had already decided at that time that this guy had to be signed. The reason for asking the following questions was just to see how much surprise Zhonglan could bring them. It has to be said that they may have found a treasure this time. But Mr. Su showed a kind smile. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 497. However, we have one last question. Mr. Su's attitude is completely different, and his dominance is weakening. Please say. We can sign you, but I'm afraid we can't provide you with a contract as good as GXE's. His finger pointed at 1, 2, and 3 points on GXE's contract. These points are all based on comparison with second-tier artists who are very popular. Let me be blunt, in our company, you can't get such resources yet. In our company, all resources are based on performance. After all, you have been out of the industry for many years. In order to be responsible to the company, shareholders, and investors, we will never give you a heroine as soon as you come on. That's too risky. Do you understand? There are several other benefits as well. The most we can do is sign you with a lower standard. In terms of roles, the best I can do is give a third female lead first. Give it to the second girl. This time, it was the middle-aged man sitting in the middle who said. Obviously, his words still carry a lot of weight. At this moment, when he said second female lead, it was the final word. Mr. Su continued, at most, I can only give you a second female lead to test the response. All other benefits are compared to 1/3 of this contract. Mr. Su looked at the person beside him this time. The middle-aged man crossed his chest and said, Half. Mr. Su, the treatment is half of what it is in this contract. Can you accept this? Tao Ran's smile suddenly deepened, and she was not in a hurry to express her position, but instead refilled the cups of tea for everyone opposite. I heard that in recent years, there is a very popular model called betting. Huh, the four people on the opposite side looked at each other again, confused. Why don't I make a bet with the raise? If I can increase my overall personal popularity to the first place in the race and the top 10 in the country within 3 months, that is to say, if I can become a top player within 3 months, then just sign with me according to the contract given by GXC. On the other hand, if I don't achieve the popularity I expect, the raise will just give me the most basic artist contract. Tao Ran couldn't wait any longer. There is no problem with Guang's commitment. A normal company would only be able to give her a second girl and a third girl first, and then wait for the market's feedback after she finishes filming, and then produce results, at least next year. At that time, it will take a long time to get the heroine and fight again. Then, I'm afraid it will take at least 3 to 5 years before she can quickly complete the task. So she thought of a shortcut. She needs a springboard and starts directly from the heroine. The four rays of light were shocked again. The most basic artist contract is the higher level contract for trainees. Obligations outweigh rights, and it is too strict to make any money. Generally, stars who have passed away will not sign. Only newcomers in the accumulation period are willing to sign such contracts with extremely low commissions. With such a contract, the company will definitely make money. And if Zhonglan can really meet expectations, there will be no need to mention the contract conditions. They are all top-notch, let alone second-class appointments, just ask them to tailor-make a contract for her. So now, for the light, there is actually no worries at all. As long as you nod, you will make money no matter what. And looking at Zhang Yian's pledge, she is clearly confident that she will be promoted to the top of the company. In fact, needless to say top-notch, even if it only occupies the top 50 on the national popularity list, it is still a great success for her. Businessmen only want to make money, so Guang agreed. The middle-aged man admires Tao Ran more and more. He is confident and courageous. Judging from his speech, he is clear and logical, and he is smart. Naturally, she will not dig a hole for herself. Then she can only want to triple jump. Dare to play like this, it shows that she is capable. Ms. Zhang has obviously thought about the way forward quite thoroughly. In this way, I will make the decision. As long as you can achieve the expected popularity within 3 months, we will give you the opportunity to be the heroine of your own choice of script. In fact, this GXC contract is not the most suitable for you. In this way, Mr. Su will tailor a contract for you when the time comes. This promise is our light's encouragement and encouragement to you. How about it? As for the cake, you can draw it first. What if it really comes out? Mr. Su, Ms. Zhang, do you have any other requests or ideas? Tao Ran, what we just talked about was 3 months from now. Shouldn't we also talk about our cooperation methods in the next 3 months? Mr. Su stretched out his hand and made a please gesture. They figured it out. Zhonglan has thought about everything. Her ideas are quite mature. Although it is said that the light is interviewing her, the fact is that she has been leading the entire meeting. Fortunately, what she mentioned is good for her and good for them. Tao Ran is generous and straightforward. Let me talk about my thoughts first. I hope that in the next 3 months, we can sign a contract similar to in-depth cooperation. I work as a ray artist, and my income can be 50-50 with the rays. But the rays will not interfere with my freedom, and will give me at least 3 waiting for appointment with the arrangement and protection of artists, and can help operate and manage my image according to my requirements. She gave such a big sweet date in front of her, and Guang will definitely comply with this request. Mr. Su readily agreed and told him that he could sign the contract at any time. Sister Zhen can arrange this by herself. The profit doesn't need to be 50 minus 50, it's just 91 minus 10. You take 9 and give the remaining 1 to Sister Zhen. The middle-aged man made the decision again. He didn't think how much money Zhonglan could earn in 3 months. Guang was not interested in petty profits, just treating them as investments. Just tell me your request. I want a spot on Sisters. Sister, Mr. Su was stunned. The sister who overcame all obstacles. Yes. Just that variety show. This was another reason why Taoran must find a company quickly in addition to finding a backer. In this variety show, Zhonglan really wanted to participate in the plot, but she was not even given an interview opportunity. She only replied with a few words, "You didn't watch the show." Facts have proved that Zhonglan has a good vision this time. Although this variety show is nothing more than twice-cooked pork, it greatly satisfies the audience with the 33 sisters' unique attractions, mutual chemistry, and appropriate mutual disapproval. As a result, the ratings exploded, the TV station made a lot of money, and the sisters became even more popular. Some of them seized the opportunity to make a big splash, accepting advertisements, releasing songs, filming TV shows, and returning to the audience's attention. Zhonglan was particularly sorry. She knew that she was not qualified, not only because the audience was not interested in her, but also because she did not even have a decent agent or company. Even a local TV station would not take her into consideration as she had no backer and could not do data. Therefore, only with the support of a big company can you have the opportunity to participate in such a variety show. But now, there are still 2 months until Sisters starts airing, and only 1 month before filming starts. The selection work is almost complete, and within 10 days at most, the list of 33 people will be finalized. There isn't much time left. Taoran thought about it. She is not someone who is eager for quick success. A variety show can gain traffic for a short period of time, but it cannot maintain its popularity for a long time. If you want to truly become popular, you must rely on your own hard power. But she still decided to participate. One is to fulfill Zhang Yian's wish. The second is to quickly harvest the popularity. Who calls this show popular? Who told the audience to like novelty? Starting from such a variety show, she wants to make her popularity explode and rush to the top in one fell swoop. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 498. It's a little difficult. These 3 words are the answer given by the light. This cake is aimed at sisters who are over 30 years old. You know, female artists of your age are very embarrassed, and it is difficult to get good resources. It is rare to have such a good opportunity, and too many people are working hard. I can tell you the truth, for a company as big as ours Guangming, there are only 2 recommendation places in total. And of these 2 places, only 1 person can be guaranteed to be on the competition list. And the list of rays has been submitted. Taoran expected it. I don't need the rays to guarantee me admission, I just need the rays to rely on connections to help me get an interview opportunity. I will not take away the internal quota from the rays, I will work hard to fight for the remaining spots in the TV station. If it fails, I will admit it, it's okay. As long as the official list is not announced, she will have a chance. Even if the show starts, she can still find a way to airborne. But relying on a big tree to take advantage of the situation is the easiest way. And this was almost the only substantive request she made. How could the light refuse? It was still the middle-aged man sitting in the middle who made the decision directly, asking her to go to Guangguang to sign a contract at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then arrange for the person in charge of Fruit Channel's sister program to meet with her as soon as possible. After a quarter of an hour, the conversation was over. The 2 sides had a great time talking. In the last 15 minutes, Tao Ran fully demonstrated her brilliance. At the end of the conversation, the 4 senior executives of Ray were not only quite satisfied with her, but also full of confidence. After sending the 4 people away, Tao Ran asked Xioxia to find out the identity of the middle-aged man. Tao Ran asked directly, but the other party did not answer. The other 3 didn't tell her either. Xioxia also shook her head. She knew almost all the senior executives of Guanghuang, but she had never seen this one before. Tao Ran called Sister Zhen and found out that that person was Director Han, Guanghuang's largest shareholder, who was rarely in China. Thank you, Sister Zhen. It all depends on your help. You're lucky. I can't invite Director Han. He happened to be in the capital to discuss an investment, so he should be dropping by. Tao Ran inhaled. What luck? Well, indeed, her luck has always been good. But if you can make him expand your rights for you, it must be that he recognizes your shining point. It is the result of your own efforts. Sister, I won't let you down. Thank you. Keep it up. Coco was left in the reading room on the first floor of the tea house by Tao Ran. Tao Ran couldn't help but be very happy when he arrived. She has made new friends. 2 little girls were discussing the plot of a story in a low voice. The smile on Coco's face was so warm. As soon as he opened the door when he got home, Liang Cheng heard the noise and was already waiting at the door, even taking his slippers. After a night of digestion, the scumbag was finally able to smile. Tao Ran scanned his home, but there was no sign of the old man or woman, so he knew they were probably still in the hospital. Came back. Nonsense. Liang Cheng clenched his fist suddenly, and then forcibly released it. Why didn't you hear the sound of the car being put into storage? Take a taxi back. Why take a taxi? Where's my car? Liang Cheng panicked. Now he had no doubt that Zhang Lan would sell his car and all his gifts directly. I crashed the car. It's being repaired, she still had to use it, so why did she drive it back? Broken. Yeah. Hit the wall. Liang Cheng's heart throbbed painfully. It's a car that he can't bear to drive. He maintains it carefully. It's his favorite car. He was so angry that his hands were shaking. He resisted not asking her where the car injury was. Is it serious? Where to fix it? He was afraid that he would lose control. Xiaolan, are you tired? I'll take care of Coco. You go take a shower first. He urgently needed to have a calm talk with his wife. I promised Keek to sleep with her today. How could she go back to Zhang Yian's bed to sleep? She saw Liang Cheng stamp on her bed and spit several times. She won't go. Then let's. Liang Cheng, Tao Ran interrupted him directly. What's the matter? Let's talk about it tomorrow, okay? Coco and I are both very tired. Liang Cheng treated Coco well. After all, he still cares about flesh and blood that can make money, and treasures that can often be used to strengthen other people's personalities. Okay. He inhaled, then inhaled. Tao Ran took Coco upstairs. By the way, can you take Coco to school tomorrow morning? I want to sleep a little longer. She smiled slightly. Okay, then I'll buy you breakfast. The night passed without incident. Tao Ran was accustomed to getting up early and going to bed early. She got up at 5 o'clock, then went to meditate outside and practiced Yutong's internal skills. She heard Mother Liang's return and the various sounds of busyness in the kitchen. Liang Cheng got up at 7 o'clock, knocked on the door, and Coco went downstairs. When Liang Cheng went out with Coco at 7:40, Tao Ran ran on the treadmill for a while, then went downstairs after washing up. Liang's mother was busy washing and hanging clothes on the balcony. Tao Ran smelled the fresh fragrance in the house and went directly into the kitchen. In the pot, the ginseng chicken soup has been simmering for 2 hours, and the millet porridge is just right. In the thermal pot on one side, There is also a cup of sea cucumber with abalone sauce that has been cooked, delicious and delicious. This breakfast is good. Especially suitable for her who has just finished exercising. After finishing the 2 sea cucumbers in 3 mouthfuls, the ginseng chicken soup was served and she devoured it. When Mother Liang came over after drying all the clothes, she saw her daughter-in-law munching on chicken legs. "What are you doing?" Mother Liang jumped to her feet. "Have breakfast, don't you understand?" Tao Ran smiled half-heartedly, pulled off another chicken wing and bit into it. "Tasty." Mother Liang rushed to the dining table. There was almost only a chicken rack left in the casserole. There are no legs, no wings, and the little bitch has a plate full of chicken bones in front of her, but she is still drinking the soup. "Is it for you to eat? Do you dare to eat it?" Mother Liang shouted. When she saw the plate with only abalone juice but no sea cucumbers, Mother Liang was even more angry and wanted to faint. Tao Ran was surprised. "Aren't these for me to eat? You? Just you? Why don't you pee and see if you are worthy? This is for your father-in-law and Xiao Cheng to replenish their bodies. You are so full of fat, do you still need to eat these? You did it on purpose, right? Can't you see that this ginseng chicken soup has been stewed for a long time? What did you let your father-in-law eat? Why are you so vicious?" Blah blah blah. Mother Liang couldn't bear it anymore and started spitting out the fragrance. "I won't eat it." Tao Ran threw away the bowl and chopsticks. "Anyway, it's already very supportive." She got up and left. Mother Liang was angry again. "Just leave like that? Not even an apology? You unfilial thing. My Liang family is such a sinner. Why did I marry someone like you? I can't give birth to a son, so I'm too lazy to work. If you don't make money, you will only lose your family. My family, Xiao Cheng, has a really hard life. In this case, your family doesn't have to feel wronged. Tell Liang Cheng that I will carefully consider the divorce." Tao Ran left with a smile. When he turned around, he pressed the save button of the phone recording again. Look how miserable she is in this family. She even gets scolded for eating. Pitiful. After packing up, it was already 8:30, and Liang Cheng should be back soon. Tao Ran went to the garage. Great, there is only one car left. Still the most expensive one. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 499. So, when Liang Chenggang drove his scooter and brought soy milk and fried dough sticks into the community, he saw an ostentatious red sports car whooshing and passed him by. What a familiar car! What a familiar roar! Liang Chen was stunned for a moment, and when he looked back, he saw that the license plate wasn't his favorite car. Zhonglan. Dare. He was so angry that he didn't know which one made him more crazy than his wife breaking her promise and leaving again, or driving away his beloved car again. He hit the brakes and made the call. "Where are you going? Didn't you say you'd wait for me to come back? Let's calm down first, I want to consider divorce." Tao Ran curled his lips and smiled. What? Liang Chen was startled. "When I got up, I thought your mother wanted to apologize to me, so she made breakfast for me. In order to give her a way out, I went to the kitchen to have breakfast. I didn't know that all the delicious food she made was not for me. Made. When she saw that I had eaten her food, she was very angry and scolded me, saying that the Liang family had done a lot of evil to marry someone like me. It was very unpleasant to be specific. You can ask your mother, but I won't. Disgusting. The reason why I answered your call is that I just want to tell you that I am very angry right now." After that, Tao Ran didn't even give him a chance to ask about the sports car. He hung up the phone and blocked the person again. She laughed. You don't need to go back to see it to know that Liang Cheng, who is now furious, will have to fight with her mother again when she goes back. His dad was so picky, and he had to fight with his mom again when they ran out of food. There must be a lot of excitement in that house. This is quite interesting once in a while. Tao Ran successfully completed the signing. Guang Guang was more generous than she thought. In addition to arranging facilities for her according to the third-class contract, she was also given an apartment with round-the-clock security that she could move into at any time. The nanny car is also in place. A contract for Xioxia is also ready. In addition, Guang Guang also promised Tao Ran not to reveal the news of her signing for the time being. When the time is right, just hold a signing ceremony. After signing the contract, Sister Zhen appeared. Without any nonsense, we directly started discussing our recent work plans and plans with her. There is only Sister. My recent plans are all about the show, Sister. Since you are so determined, you are already determined to win. We have already made an appointment with the TV station, and we can go and talk at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It is difficult to listen to what people in the industry say. Be mentally prepared. Whether you can get a spot depends on you. Yeah. Let's talk about other work after I finish talking about it. Okay. Gao knows that you want to come back, and you have mentioned it to the director. He can give you a role. You can practice acting or just make a cameo. If you are interested, you can tell me and I will make arrangements. Thank you, Gao, for me. Thank you too. You don't have to thank me all the time. As long as you can come forward, it is the greatest reward for me. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Sister Zhen waited with Tao Ran in the conference room on the 12th floor of the TV station. It is indeed a big project, and the entire level has been temporarily left to the sister program team. The huge promotional poster can be seen from the elevator. Sister Zhen, I heard that the investment has already reached hundreds of millions. If the response is good, there will be many derivative products. Yes. This is the fruit station's big punch this year. You can only succeed and not fail. Really confident. The appointment was made at 2 o'clock, but the other party waited until 3:30 before Director Lu had time to come over. This is still for Sister Zhen's sake. Sorry for the long wait. I'm afraid I only have 10 minutes. Probably because Director Lu couldn't speak directly to Sister Zhen, Sister Zhen was invited out. As soon as Sister Zhen's front foot left, Director Lu said bluntly, "This time, our quota is actually full. I'm sorry, Miss Zhang. I will give you priority next time when I have the opportunity." This rejection is already very straightforward. Teacher Lu, didn't you say 10 minutes? I think it's not too late to reject me after you give me 9.5 minutes. At the same time, Sister Zhen, who was waiting outside, found out from her secretary that there were actually several investors who were recruiting people for the show in the past 2 days. The biggest problem now is that there are not enough places. They only had 3 undecided spots, but there were at least 30 people lined up behind them. Judging from current fame and historical achievements, Zhang Lan can only be ranked in the top 10 at most. So she didn't have much hope. After the secretary said this, he went to do other things. Sister Zhen can tell that the secretary is not exaggerating. Sister Zhen let out a breath, drank her coffee and took time. 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. 10 minutes had passed and the door to the conference room was not opened. Her back straightened up. 12 minutes, 15 minutes, she calmly went to get another cup of coffee. 20 minutes later, no one came out of the conference room, so Sister Zhen took the tablet and started working on it. She knew it was probably stable. When Tao Ran came out, the conversation between her and Director Lu lasted for 30 minutes. Even the secretary was shocked. Almost every artist who comes for an interview will go through an interview, but except for the first time when director Lou personally invited the Queen, the interview time for other artists without the presence of their manager did not last more than half an hour. The secretary also felt that the woman in front of her, who had long since passed away and many people only remembered her as Mama Coco, might have to take up a spot. Sister Jeanne smiled and asked, "How was the conversation?" Director Lou smiled and said, "You are a pretty good artist. We have made an appointment to meet again in 10 days. It's up to her whether she can get the spot. John Lan, I'm looking forward to your joining." "Thanks." On the way back, Sister Jeanne immediately asked, "How did you negotiate?" "She rejected me as soon as she came up. I reminded her that there were still 9.5 minutes. She stopped the stopwatch. Like the things she can do. Then I asked her why she rejected me so bluntly. She gave 3 reasons. First, she was not well known. Second, her goal was to form a girl group, which required people who could sing and dance. Actors are not as popular as singers, so they were not going to consider it. Thirdly, naturally I am not popular and cannot bring up the topic." "Then you defeated them one by one?" "Yes. When they said I was not famous, I asked them, what is the slogan of their program? She said, overcoming obstacles and making a comeback. They had actually seen the slogan on the elevator coming up. I asked her, if I'm already at a high point, why do I need to make a comeback? If I'm going with the wind, why should I go against the wind? If I have a smooth road ahead, why should I go through all the obstacles? Isn't the person they want the person who is at the lowest point in life like me?" She was immediately stopped by my question. Then I took advantage of the situation and set up the people I wanted. I told her that what I want to create is the image of an independent and self-reliant mother. This is the personality that women over 30 need most. I am the most suitable candidate for their theme. The transformation and reversal process of a tepid, non-existent housewife is both inspiring and interesting. This is the most positive value. Then what? After I said this, she thought for a few seconds, probably considering my possibility. Then she looked at the time and saw that there were more than 3 minutes left, and motioned for me to continue. Second, it's easier to refute the idea that she doesn't need an actor. I just stood up and did a few backflips. The heroine who wears fast is really a boss. Author, Ruo Shui 1111. Chapter 500. Sister Jeanne looked up and down at Taoran's makeup today. With almost no makeup, her seemingly casual yet well-manicured flowing black hair, and an elegant pure white dress, she clearly came prepared. One can imagine that when she leaps into the air like this, she must be as graceful as a fairy, which is very impressive. Being able to flip and flip indicates that the body is dexterous and has a habit of practicing. Then such a person's dancing ability will definitely not be too bad, and the stage effect will be even more amazing. Coupled with her ability to perform, her stage advantage was immediately highlighted. I told her that I am by no means a loser. Although this is a variety show that requires a stage for its re-debut, most of the show must still be in the audience. It's true that we need professional singers and dancers on stage, but don't we need professional actors like me to control the stage? I can help create topics and help the program team advance the plot they want. They can put me in trouble, let me specialize in causing trouble or sensationalism, or even directly sacrifice me to heaven. Those sisters worked hard to get into this show and spent so much time, energy, and connections. Naturally, they don't want to be in the first round, let alone become cannon fodder and a stepping stone. But I don't mind any of this. So I was definitely the only one who offered to take any script. And how could a show have all the protagonists? Since we have to overcome all obstacles, how is it possible that no one is making trouble? The routines of the show are definitely there. If you want to catch the audience's attention, you have to be able to cause trouble. What their show lacks now is probably the role I gave. When I finished saying that, Director Lu's alarm had already rang. 10 minutes passed, but she didn't stop. Instead, she continued to ask, what other possibilities can I bring to the show? I know that she is already very interested in me. Sister Zhen frowned. Do you really want to take the script of Sacrifice to Heaven? That may not be a vicious female supporting role, it may be a vicious cannon fodder. If you don't do it well, it will be criticized by thousands of people, and it will take a lot of energy to clear your name afterwards. Sister, I started out as a bit player. My focus now is not how many pages my script has, but how to squeeze into this crew first. As long as I am eye-catching enough, the director will naturally be reluctant to let me go. If I can bring popularity to the show, the writers will naturally add me to the show. Therefore, it doesn't matter what I say now, it's important to occupy the pit first. How could she be willing to be reduced to a background or a supporting role? She must at least be at the top of the wave. You're right. It's my limitation. You continue. How could you continue talking for 20 minutes after that? Director Lu told me that she is quite interested in me. But she is not the only one who has the final say on the program team. If I want to be recognized by investors and the station, I must have some actual achievements. To put it bluntly, what the program wants is ratings and popularity. My biggest problem now is that I don't have any enthusiasm, which is her third reason for rejecting me before. I don't have a huge base of fans, nor can I bring discussion or even endorsements to the show. If I fail to arouse the audience's interest, no matter how good my performance is, it is still a waste of opportunity. I wasn't convinced that I wasn't hot, so I made a bet with her. Betting again. This is addiction to gambling. I told her directly that in terms of popularity, if I wanted to, I could be on hot searches at any time. I didn't have to spend money to buy traffic. I could also be on hot searches once a day without repeating the same search every time. I asked her if she wanted to take a look. She was stunned at that time, and then said, Sister Zhen's artists won't talk like that, unless you really have a hot spot. I knew she was testing, so I told her, of course. Otherwise, why would Sister Zhen, such a picky perfectionist, still sign me up? Sister Zhen rolled her eyes, and Taoran went up and took her arm and leaned against her. Your sign is there, Director Lu will inevitably think deeply. Guang Guang, and you suddenly signed me, are you trying to hold back your big move? I kept pretending for a while, and she was even more interested and whetted her appetite. We chatted for a while, and then the pair came out. When it comes to betting, there is basically no harm done to the stronger side, so she easily followed into my plan. She promised to give me 10 days. If I could post 7 different topics in 10 days without any data, generate a huge amount of discussion, have the highest ranking in hot searches within 20, and personal Weibo and other, if the total number of fans on the social account can increase more than 10 times, then she will guarantee my spot. On the contrary, I have to take Coco and help with programming whenever their station needs it, with zero pay. Do you think it's irritating or not? The only thing they are interested in is Coco. So in order for my children not to have to show off like this, I must succeed this time. Have confidence. Yes. Don't say 7 times, 10 times will do. What Taoran is best at is acting and making trouble. Hot search? Well, there are ways. Do you need help with drainage? No need. Since you said you won't do any data, you have to keep your word, right? However, you really have a favor to help me. What? Get me a ticket. What tickets? Back in the light, Xioxia had just helped Taoran drive the red sports car back from a familiar car dealership. It was past school time, and Taoran received a call from Keek's teacher, saying that no one had come to answer Keek's phone yet, and he couldn't get through Keek's grandma's call. Taoran understood immediately. This morning, Liang Chengming agreed with his mother to pick up the child. But because of what happened this morning, Liang's mother was wronged and must have been scolded by Liang Cheng and Liang's father. She felt uncomfortable and took it out on her child. Tao Ran is furious, those rubbish. As she drove to pick up her child, she called her mother, whom she knew well. There happened to be a person who was playing with his child at school, so he immediately helped to pick up Coco. On the way, Tao Ran naturally didn't forget to call Liang Cheng and lose his temper. Xiaolan, please calm down. I'm going to go talk to my mother. This kind of thing will definitely never happen in the future. Let me tell you, no one should be wronged by his children. From now on, in that home, there will be me without your parents, and there will be your parents without me. It's up to you. Tao Ran hung up the phone directly. 10 minutes later, she received a crying voice on WeChat. It was Liang's mother. She said she was wronged and scolded by her son and daughter-in-law. She didn't want to live anymore and wanted to die. When she died, she hoped that her daughter-in-law would be happy and so on. Tao Ran he, do you want to die? Tell yourself what? Do you expect yourself to stop it? Dream. She blocked WeChat directly. Very good. It seems that Liang Cheng scolded him very harshly. Over the years, the old woman has always been arrogant and bossy, but this is the first time I heard her cry and cry. Go to hell. It would be better to die. But if you are reluctant to die but insist on living, then I'm sorry, you will only have this kind of grievance in the future. Anyway, you are not the one who is tormenting. When Tao Ran arrived near the school, Liu's mother was already waiting at the milk tea shop in front of the school with her children. Coco didn't feel any wronged. Although Tao Ran was unhappy, he felt that this time it was not a bad thing. When fighting for custody in the future, she can just give the Liang family a reputation of being irresponsible for their children.